It's not causing friction inside of your marriage.
There you go.
Yeah.
It's not causing friction in your marriage. And that's the one thing that you want to make sure you don't want to cause friction in your marriage, because guess what? Because you don't have, so here, let me just give you a quick story about what happened with us in our early years. And so what happened was we both wasn't good with money. So what happened, we both had our own account. We both had our own, we had one account, we had a joint account where we put all the bill money to. And so, like I said, we were young. And so what happened was it will always decline whenever she wanted to go and do something. So what happened was she came home and she was like, hey, we need to have separate accounts. So I was like, okay, no problem. Now, that's it. We always had the one account, but then we had separate savings. So when she was like, hey, we need to have separate checking accounts. So I was like, okay, no problem. So we had a separate checking account. So I want you to see what took place. Because of finances, now we were already battling with communication. So, but with finances coming into play, now here comes the spirit of division coming in. So now we're getting separate accounts. So now once we started having separate accounts, I have money. She ran into the same issue. It was declining. So it was like, okay, so now what's really taking place? So at this point now, she comes back and says, hey, I think we should go back to the same to having one account for the bills. And I was like, well, why? Because now it's like now I'm safeguarding because I already knew where the issues were. But because again, like I was saying, we were young. This is like year 1 and 2. And so when we began to recognize what was actually taking place, because guess what? Once we began to separate our monies, guess what else? Something else began to separate. Then something else began to separate. Then something else began. So it's like it's a domino effect. And so, but she was like, hey, let's bring our funds back together. But it wasn't in the sake of growing. It was let's bring our funds back together because I realized I had more money when our funds was together. That had the issue. So, but because when you look at it, she completes me. She if I'm thinking about something, I know she'll get it while she out. And I say, hey, I think I might need or if I needed something and forgot to say something about it, she'll grab it. So understanding you have to begin, that's where that money mindset, you got to know who you are. Who's the spender? Who's the saver? Because even though I say, well, her spending, she had to let me know, all right, babe, we do need to get this. So that's why the communication was so key. But once we came back together, now we begin to look at, and then we moved from one area to the next, and we was looking to purchase a house. So now we got to look at why we couldn't purchase this house. So now when we came together and we began to look at what we need to do, it took some time because guess what? It's an adjustment for everybody. Right. Because everybody's mindset is not in the same, because what her money blocks was not my money blocks. Right. And my money blocks wasn't hers. Because at this point, y'all ready for this? I did not think that we could actually leave this country. When I say leave this, I'm talking about just these 48 states.
51.
No, I'm talking about right here. These 48 states, right here, on this one piece. I ain't talking about Hawaii, you got to cross water. I ain't talking about Alaska, you got to cross Canada. Now I'm talking about right here from the East Coast to the West Coast.
Okay.
So in my mind, I didn't think we could leave this because the funds I'd have been out of. We were already in Alaska. Right, but what I'm saying is, when I say to the lavish place, because she was like, I want to go to Puerto Rico. When we paid off that debt.
I'm the dreamer, right? I am the dreamer.
Go
ahead. No, I'm just saying I'm the dreamer. So whenever I see something, it's like we're going for it. Yeah. And there's nothing that's going to stop us from being able to go for that. It might be a little delay, but we're going to work because I can see it. I'm the visionary.
Right. And so once we got to working and paying off the debt, we bought our house and whatnot. She was like, I want to go to Puerto Rico. I want to go to a beach with some sand and all this stuff. I'm like, girl, we got the Potomac right over here. That's brown water. That ain't no Florida water.
Fungus water. Oh my God.
It was like, okay, well, we done paid off the debt.
You out there.
So, you so funny. but we paid off the debt and we went.
Right.
For me, it was mind blowing for me.
Right.
And we had an awesome time. I said, no, we got to bring the kids back.
Right.
Because that was always a dream of mine to take, to me, it was lavish. I know, I ain't been to Cancun yet, but I know you have. But what I'm saying is, for me, that was that first step. Right. And so and what happened? The following year, we came back with the kids.
Right.
Because guess what? When you pay off the debt, you don't have anything that you will have to say no to.
Right.
So all this about, and then when you have that line and understanding budgeting, we already had that thing set aside. It was called family trip. It was an item as a bill. Nope, that's going to save for family trip.